Hi guys, welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Cansu and this YouTube space is called Cansu Grows Greens. Here I talk about my houseplants and all plant related things. So if you are into that, you may want to take along. Today we will do a little bit of a wrap up for 2022. I'm going to show you guys the good, the bad and the ugly of this past year. I have chosen 3 to 4 plants for each category, and I've got these plants for the whole or for the most of 2022. So let's get started. Let's start positive. Let's start with one of the good. Here is one of my all-time best plants, my philodendron tortum. I mean, this plant has been so good since I got it early 2022. I think I got this plant either like late January, early February in 2022, and we have been together since then, and it has grown so much. I mean, when I got this, there are 2 plants here, but when I got this whole part was not here. It had like 2 leaves here and 2 leaves here, and over the summer it has grown this much. And this and these 2 leaves are new leaves. So it's been growing since I got it. I think it is a different philodendron and a different houseplant in general. It looks very interesting. It looks like a palm tree basically, but it is more manageable than a palm tree, at least for me. I recommend this plant to everyone because it's a very good grower. No pest issues so far, no nothing, and it's just very interesting looking. It's like a centerpiece plant. Let's go to one of the bad ones here. This plant is actually one of my worst plants. I can never say its botanical name, but I will put it in here. So this is a booby cactus. It is a succulent plant, and to be honest, I'm not really good with succulents. But when I saw this plant on social media, I was like really influenced and I wanted one. And this was in 2021. This was last year. I couldn't find one of these plants anywhere in Europe. I checked like all the online stores that I knew, but I couldn't find it anywhere. But I found it in Turkey and I ordered it to my parents' house. And when I went to visit them when I went to visit them in September 2021, I picked it up, and since then it has done nothing. It has done nothing. I got this plant like that. Nothing. It's been more than a year now. I kind of want to repot it. Maybe there's an issue in the roots, I don't know, but it's not dying. It's just not doing anything. It may be a slow grower, but is it really this slow? If you know any tips about this plant, please leave it in the comments. I would really appreciate it because I want this plant to grow. I see on Instagram that people's booby cactuses like grow this way and that way, but mine is just like sad. Let's do one of the ugly ones. My ugliest plant is this Anthurium crystallinum. I mean, look at this thing. It has 1 good leaf and that's it. The rest is just ugly. Okay, it's giving. No, it's dried up. It's not giving another leaf here. I got this plant as a tiny little seedling. It was like literally this big. At the end of 2021, I think it was like December. and it has grown. Yeah, it has grown, but it hasn't been able to hold on to its leaves. All my anthuriums are in lettuce pond, but I think I will switch them to soil, like a chunky aerated soil. I think these plants, these velvety anthuriums, they need more moisture in the roots. I'm kind of giving them dry rot, I think. So we will see. We will see if the switch will make any difference and it will be able to hold on to its leaves. But at the moment, like, it looks like this. Ugly. Another ugly one, by the way, is another anthurium. This is an anthurium bomboescens. Got this from Ecogenera, Europe, and I think only they have this plant. But since I got it, it's been an ugly plant. It had more leaves, but they dried up, they yellowed, so I recently chopped them off, and I recently switched this to fluval stratum. I think it's growing another leaf, but overall this anthurium also has been an ugly plant for me. Okay, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's do another good. Let me show you another philodendron actually. My philodendron micans. Look at this beast. This is my first philodendron ever, and we've been together more than a year. When I got it, it was like this big, and I gave it a trellis. It grew a lot. It needs a little bit TLC. Actually, it has some yellowing leaves, but overall this philodendron has been also a very, very good grower. At one point it got thrips. I treated it and it bounced back, and since then, since like 6-7 months, it's been doing really well. And I recommend this philodendron again to everyone. It has this like velvety leaves, and the new growth comes in this like sort of reddish brown color, and I like it so much. Okay, a bad plant. A bad plant has been my variegated Adansonii. If you have your eyes on one, I suggest not to get it. This plant is very problematic. I think when I got it, it was just this one stem, and it had like, this is one of the original leaves here, and all these yellowing leaves are the original leaves. And I got this plant back in March 2022. It was a very beautiful plant when I got it, and I chopped it several times, I propagated it several times. It roots very easily, so propagating it is very easy. But my problem has been it keeps pushing out these white leaves, fully white leaves. I've changed the lighting situation. I moved this to a darker spot. Didn't do any difference. It keeps growing these white leaves. It holds on to the white leaves quite a long while, but at the end, these leaves are not sustainable. What you want to have is something like that. Like this is a good leaf here for a variegated Monstera Adansonii. But these fully white leaves, they are pretty, yeah, but they are not sustainable. So this has been a very bad plant for me. What I want to do with this is to chop all these yellowing leaves and hope for the best. But honestly, I'm not too worried about it because there is already like growth alongside the stem. I can see it's pushing out some things, and they look like new leaves, but I just hope they would have some green in them. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't know if I would recommend this plant. This has been a very bad plant for me. It is a very high maintenance plant, I think, in terms of keeping the variegation, keeping a balanced variegation. But if you want one, you don't have to get a full plant. Just get a little cutting. It roots very easily and it grows very fast. But keeping a balanced variegation with this plant is just like gambling. You can risk it, you can get one. When it has this type of variegation, it's very pretty, but when it starts pushing out fully white leaves or fully green leaves, then your headache will start. Should we do another ugly one? I'm gonna show you an ugly one. Another ugly one is my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. This plant hasn't always been this ugly. This plant used to live here in the place of the Christmas tree, but when we put the Christmas tree here, I moved it. And I think it hated its new spot. It has all these yellowing leaves. It is not a very different spot in terms of light or heat, but it just hated it. And the leaves started yellowing. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this plant. I may chop it and propagate it if I have the energy for it. I have lots of propagations going on at the moment, and I don't have the energy to try to propagate another plant. But on the bright side, this is a very common plant and a very cheap plant, and it is very easy to replace. Actually, I have another Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. I will show it to you. Wait. I got this one a couple months ago. And this has been really good. I didn't want to show you this because this is a new plant for me, relatively. Look at the difference in size of the leaves. Like, look at this and look at this. I think these are two different cultivars. Otherwise, I don't think this plant can produce these big leaves. This one is a new one, but it's been growing really well. Let me show you the newest leaf. It has a very pretty leaf somewhere. Oh, this one is the newest leaf. Can you see it? Like, it has the secondary fenestrations as well. And it's just so cute. And these leaves are big. I like it. Because I have this one, I'm not sure if I will try to save this one. I don't know. What do you think I should do? Should I chop it and try to propagate it, or should I just like toss it in the compost? Okay, let me show you guys another ugly plant. And I'm gonna show you another anthurium. Actually, all my anthuriums are ugly. Here it is. Oh, it's heavy. This is my Anthurium clarinarium. This plant has also never been able to hold on to its leaves. This is the latest leaf. It looks nice right now, but look at the other ones. Look at this one. Look at this one. Like, it has these like crispy edges, and it's also in Lichizopon. I will switch this one to a chunky aerate mix as well. I know it doesn't have any pests, but it had thrips twice in the last year. At the moment, I don't think it has anything, but it's just ugly. I cheated a little bit and I got another one. I got another clarinarium recently. It's in this little cabinet here because I recently purchased it. I put it there to isolate. What I want to do, I want to plant them together in a chunky aeroid mix, not in lechuza, and maybe it will inspire this ugly anthurium to thrive a little bit. Another good one is my Hoya. I love Hoyas, and I got into Hoyas very early in my plant journey, and this plant I purchased as Hoya carnosa Shirley. I don't know what it is. I don't know what Shirley is, but I think this is a pubicalis silver splash. And look at all the splash. Like, this has been a very, very good Hoya. And I got this from a big box store, like from like a big garden center. And it was so cheap and it was so big. Actually, I got this plant as a big plant. I didn't get it as a cutting or anything like that, but it was so big for me to handle. When I was repotting it, I chopped it, and I have another plant of it actually, and I gave it a trellis, and since then it has grown so much. The only thing this plant needs to do for me is to bloom actually, and I'm very hopeful about it because this is a big plant and I love how splashy it is. If you want a Hoya with these splashes, they are like very on trend right now, get a pubicalis. Get a pubicalis silver splash. It has a lot of potential to be splashy. You don't have to pay like hundreds of euros to those little cuttings of the what is it, gray ghost, this and that. They are beautiful too, but I suggest you start with a pubicalis silver splash because it is a very sturdy plant and it is cheap and it has a lot of potential. Look at these splashes, wonderful, I love it. The last bad plant is a Hoya, unfortunately, my Hoya Crimson Princess. This Hoya was so good, but I recently got COVID, guys. I've been negative for more than a week now, but for the first time I got COVID, and for about a week when I was sick, I couldn't care for my plants. I didn't have the energy. I was like really sick. It's no joke, guys. But this plant was doing well until I got sick. When I have the energy to take care of my plants, I saw this plant like that. It completely died when I was sick. I think it died in solidarity with me. But I have zero ideas on what happened to this plant, because this was just like, this was a regular Hoya growing there on my plant shelf. Nothing changed for this plant. It just died when I got sick, and there is nothing that I can salvage here. It just died, and I have no idea what may have caused this. I just like to think it died in solidarity with me because I was sick and was like, okay, I'm gonna die. Again, on the bright side, this plant is also very cheap, like easily replaceable, and I will replace it because I like Crimson Princess a lot together with the Crimson Queen. My last ugly plant is my Philodendron Genevivanum. This plant has never reached its full potential. It has always been very gangly. It grew these like little tiny leaves, and I chopped them and I'm trying to propagate them, and recently it had a lot of yellowing leaves. As you can see here, this one is also yellowing a little bit. I chopped them off too. When you look at the pictures of this plant on social media, oh my god, it's so beautiful. But mine is, I don't know, it has potential, but it's just like ugly. Okay guys, we started positive, let's end positive. My last good plant is my Syngonium alba. All my Syngoniums did very well in 2022. This one did especially good. I mean, look at this plant. When I got it at the end of 2021, I got this plant as like this big stem with like 3 or 4 leaves, and it's a full plant now. I chopped and propagated it so many times. I replanted some of the propagations here, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 little plants in this pot. Before I got this plant, I always thought this was a finicky plant because of this white variegation, but it is really good. If you are into this, if you are into these white variegated plants, get a Syngonium alba. I 100% recommend it. It holds on to this variegation really well. I mean, it doesn't turn brown like a Monstera. It doesn't rot. It's a very good grower, pest resistant. No issues with this plant so far, and it's very low maintenance. Instantly choose upon. It doesn't require anything, and it looks really, really pretty. And this plant is very sensitive to light. If you want whiter leaves, just increase the lighting situation a little bit, like here. I didn't want very white leaves, so I moved this to a darker spot, and from these super white ones, it started growing these ones. Buy this plant. It's affordable and it is very pretty. Okay guys, this was a little wrap up for me for 2022. You have seen my good, bad and ugly plants. If you have any of these plants, please write in the comments. I want to know which ones you have, and if you have any tips or recommendations for my bad and ugly plants, I would also appreciate them in the comments section. Well, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.